morning. Today is Wednesday. It is our very early morning. I have Princess in the car with me. She has her favorite little character right now. Who's your character? Who is that?
Pushing.
Pushing. So it's early for us on Wednesdays because Langifisi does valet. I will try to do a clip of what these kids do. Basically, we drop them off at 7:30 a.m. and they assist the cars at the drop-off lane. They open the doors, they greet us, and they help the kids get out, which is great and awesome. I have no idea why I signed up for this. Like, why would a mom of 3 with a child that's 2 agree to wake up any earlier than she really needs to? The sad part is, as you can see, Yoni has a bunch of towels on him. Yoni has been sick for 2 weeks, really, like with a couple of days gap in between. He first had an ear infection, and so he was on antibiotics, and then you saw the video of him at the walkathon. And then Sunday night after church, he just spiked up 106.9 fever. So I was trying to do what typically the doctor will say is a rotation of Tylenol and ibuprofen back to back. So it's almost like 3-hour increments because of the time gap. Just cannot shake this fever. So he'll go like a gap of an hour. Then the next thing you know, his fever is spiking back up, which is really sad for a mom to watch her kid like that. But yesterday, last night, while I was at my women's Bible study, my husband called and said he just had a really, really bad bloody nose. And so as I'm getting ready for Langifisi's valet parking duties on Wednesday, I was trying to get him ready, washing and brushing his teeth. His nose started bleeding. It was just dripping blood. Instead of just putting on his clothes, and he's still hot, I gave him his Tylenol. I decided just to wrap him up in 2 towels. Salah, move, please. Let's just let him be. Let him be. Because the blood was just kind of dripping. Now we've contained it, and I was trying to pinch his nose, which is what you're supposed to do. I don't know if you guys were like me. When I grew up, my mom was just like, lean your head back. That's the wrong thing to do. You basically need to pinch your nose for about a minute. But he wouldn't let me pinch his nose, which is... So we have a doctor's appointment this morning at 8:45. And I'm just hoping they can figure out what's really wrong. We drop him off at 7:30. I keep her in the car till 7:45. So she's not at school super early. I will vlog a little bit while we are waiting for the doctor. Yoni cannot stand the doctor. He really doesn't like to be there. I'm not really looking forward to them doing his testing because he really cannot stand when they touch him. And I usually need to like really, really hold him down just for simple things like just doing a weigh-in or taking his temperature. Alrighty, I hope that you guys are all having a great morning. Bye.
Hey.
How are you feeling, bud? You okay, bud?
Oh, done.
We just got back from the hospital from taking Yoni. So I'm not sure if I mentioned, I took him in on the 27th, which was about 12 days ago, I think, because he was sick. He was having this fever. And then at that time, I think he had croup. The doctor said he had an ear infection. So they gave us moxicillin, I think that's what it's called. It's an oral medicine that he was supposed to take for 10 days. So we did that, but he could never shake the fever. Like, I think he was only okay for 2 days. And then his fever started coming back. And so for the last 2 days, today will be the 3rd day, his fever has consistently been pretty high. My husband put in a doctor's appointment for him this morning, so we went and did that. I was supposed to videotape when we were coming out, but I was totally like, I felt so bad. So we went there, and I didn't really know what the doctor was gonna say. He said, instead of the left ear having an ear infection, now his right ear has an ear infection. Basically was gonna do another 10-day antibiotics, a different kind of antibiotic. And then he said if that didn't work, he was gonna do a shot, which is a form of antibiotic. And so I was like, why would I take this liquid stuff and then come back to do the shot? So then he was like, well, or you can do the shot. So basically I did the shot. But like Yoni has been having such a hard time going to the doctor, and like I felt horrible because I didn't expect to have to give him the shot. He was crying, like he doesn't even like when they check his ears, and I just felt horrible. I mean, he's been sick for what, over 2 weeks, but we did do the shot. He was pretty strong, to be honest. Like he was pretty strong. And like when I first became a mom, I tried my best to do everything by the book, and I think I just like shut down emotions. I was like, this is the best for you. I don't care how it really seems like you're crying. This is the best for you. But I mean, after having like my third kid, you can't just go in there all the time with like, this is the best for you, and like, we're just gonna do this. Like your heart literally breaks for them. Finally became a sensitive person after having kids. I couldn't record him because he was just so sad. Like that's just how he looked. He looked so sad. Like I knew as a parent this was the best decision for him, but like I'm still so sad for him. Like that's not what he expected. He expected to go in there to get better. And of course that's ultimately what is going on. He's going to get better. I mean, that's the prayer. But he had to go through something difficult. And like it totally just, I wanted to vlog my thoughts now while they're fresh, because I was like, dude, isn't this exactly how our spiritual lives are? For those of us who call ourselves Christian, a lot of us grew up in the church and it wasn't our decision to church because they're our parents. And then you get older and then life gets hard and then it becomes your choice. Do I want to believe that Jesus is who he says he is? If you do go that far and you make that decision, like, yes, I do want to follow him. I do believe he is the Christ. And hard things happen in life, right? Like you go to him and you're like, okay, you can be sick. Like you have a child that's sick. Your marriage could be in despair. Health could be in despair, like all these negative things. And you go to Christ, right? Like we all go to him and we're praying. A lot of us still have this mentality. We're trying to live right, and that's going to seek God's favor, when that's like not what the Bible teaches. It's like we seek his favor because he's just a good God. And then when we pray and things don't happen the way we want, or the opposite, I'm praying to get healthy and then all of a sudden I get sicker. We're like, what are you doing up there? Like, do you get joy out of seeing me suffer? Like, I'm totally seeing the parallel between me and my son's situation. Oftentimes when you're praying, things appear to be getting worse, and you look back at your life after whatever is worse happens, you hold on tight, hem of God's garment, and you get on the other side of it, and it all makes sense. It's kind of gets worse part is like the shot, and you're like, God, what are you doing? Like I'm praying and you're not even coming through. In fact, you're making things worse. It's those shots in life is to make us better. Like those trials, like it says in scripture, like trials are to make us stronger. Stronger part is we become more like Christ. We become more patient. We become more kind. We become more empathetic. That's the stronger part of it. When I noticed how my heart was breaking for my kid, and I'm like in my best days, I feel like everything I do is for my kids. I heart out love them. I make mistakes. I'm yelling. I'm acting crazy. I'm pushing my own agenda on them just because of my humanity or me growing. Imagine like a good God. Like all that he allows is really, really for our good. Like there's no hidden agenda with him. Like there's no mess up in him. There's no baggage that he comes with. I parent a lot of times the way I was parented, and they did the best with what they had, and I kind of do the best. And now God enlightens me. I read, I'm surrounding myself around other parents that love their kids and want the best for their kids, and really focus in, is this me or is this the best for my kid? Like how much more is a good father allowing things in our life? I hope I can edit this and make it come across as clear as it is in my mind. Like that was the thing that really came to me. He's like the ultimate good. And it breaks his heart when he sees us suffering, or when we lack trust in him. But he's there to ensure that it's for our good. Like just me allowing the doctors to administer this shot. The reason why I allowed it is because I believe it's gonna help him to feel better. I believe that he's not gonna have these sleepless nights. Like I believe the fever's gonna go down. It's a huge epiphany. Physical oftentimes makes clearer the spiritual thing. God is a good father, and when we're waiting on these prayers and oftentimes things appear to get worse, it's for our good. That's going to happen later if we would just hold on, and if we could just learn to trust that we serve a good God, he is a good father, and anything that he allows is being filtered through a loving hand. Nothing is ever to hurt us. Nothing is ever to break us. It's ultimately to make us stronger. It's also ultimately to purify us, and it's ultimately to make us more like our Father. And yeah, I just had to share that. Like, I just love those moments when I just get awakened, things that I could parallel to like more of my spiritual life. Like, I don't believe in Jesus just because it's a popular thing. In fact, I live in California, the least popular thing to be here. I do it because I believe that he's real. That's just flat out it. I believe that he's real. I believe that he's good. He has proven himself to me and my family over and over and over again. I like, beyond a shadow of a doubt, I know that he's real. When he opens up, spirit could see and parallel the physical to the spiritual. Like, I don't know. It just does something to me. I just feel like it's God's hand. Like, yep, see me for who I am and not who man says I am. All right, bye.